Hello, this is Fourth X here. Today we're going to be talking about UV maps and blend shape stuff. Or not blend shape, texturing, applying texturing to stuff directly onto a map. Whoops. Well, that's fine. Um, I've got another situation going on here. So let's say, for example, you've got a blend file that you've downloaded from the internet. So in this case, it's going to be Coolio Arts Roxanne, which, this looks fantastic and great. But something I've noticed when you export it. All right, so let's create a new collection. I'm going to export. I exported it as FBX. Let's import it back in. Thing is, you can see that some of this stuff is a little weird going on, like with the arms and stuff. And I found out the reason behind that is because the original stuff. Okay, so let's find the yeah. So the shirt, for example, you go to material and chest. Turns out it's doing something called clamp factor, and it's going into mix. Now, this kind of thing will not transfer over to things like Unity. So this video is more so just to check and see on like, hey, this is how you like color shit directly from Blender, or check the UV mapping and stuff, because just spoiler alert, if you go over to UV editing and you select the chest here, right, and then hit A for all. First off, it's going to pull up your normal mapping because it doesn't really have a base texture to go off of. It's just looking at the factor and the where is it? Yeah, this here, and it's going to count that. But regardless, you can select a thing for that. But anyway, so this UV mapping is outside of the texture map that it's being assigned to. So we need to lower that down. But even if I'm going to Control Z just for the sake of a thing, but like, let's see, what was it? Shirt, right? Doesn't really have a. Oh yeah, here we go. That's supposed to be chest tat. Now, if you look here, you'll notice that these here, this is supposed to be like the front, or one of these two is. I think it's this one. It's supposed to be the very front. This is nowhere near where it should be. So let's fix that. And so obviously this texture map is way too big for the whole thing. Or the texture itself is too, like, there's not enough space here for the rest of it to just kind of do its own thing. But let's say that it was. All you'd need to do is do that. Whoops. And, have it in there, and then, yeah, it's cool. But so that's UV editing, and if you select like individual faces, it'll show up corresponding over there. But let's get back to this. What we want to do is kind of draw our own version of it, and to do that, we're gonna need to. What one was it? Was it cube? Fuck. What cube? Cube 13. Okay, so I'm just gonna rename this as shirt for the sake of where'd it go? It's at the bottom, isn't it? Yep, it's right there. Okay, but let's go ahead and create a new texture. So in order to do this, let's go over to the base color, click on that, and then select image texture. Now it's not going to show any yet because it's new. We're not going to open anything, we're just going to create a new one, and we're going to call it shirt. Typically, I'd go for 4096 as the resolution on both, because you can always downscale it in Unity and it just looks better. Now, here comes the fun part. Let's pull aside a thing here, and we're going to switch this to image editor. And then you're going to select this, because just because. And you're going to go over here, and shirt has been created inside of this directory. Now the thing is, this image has not been saved to your computer yet. It is only available in this blend file. And if you try and open it without exporting it or pre-packing it, then it will not save. So all of your work that we're going to show you how to do in just a second will be for nothing. Anyway, let's show you how to do said work. So T for tab. What I like to do is I like to use the annotation tool to kind of draw the kind of outline that we're doing, and then I just fix up the rest in Photoshop. So let's say I want to do something like that, and yeah, sure, that's good enough for now. For the sake of simplicity, you know, I'm not gonna go overboard with it. So texture paint. So yeah, you have your mesh selected, so it's the shirt in this case. Edit mode. Oh, whoops, no, not edit mode. Texture paint. You're gonna press the bracket keys to make it bigger or smaller. The ones right by the P key, you know. Now, like I usually do, I keep things in as simplistic as I can, because I'm going to be fixing up the rest in Photoshop, like when I get done. So this is really an easy step. Just kind of do this, and if you have to clean up around the edges, you can hold control while going at this in order to... Ooh, okay. So this is another thing to do with that UV editing. Some of these fellas are going to be overlapping. So let's go back over here and see. Ah, yeah. So it's trying to extend on the other side. So like take two of this picture and put them right next to each other. They're both reading from the same place here, which is why we're getting some of that overlap showing up while I'm trying to color one side. Oops, I thought it was on texture paint. Okay, there we go. But yeah, it'll try and color other spots, like right over there. So changing up that UV editing is very important, because otherwise you're going to have a mess when you're done with all of this. So we're going to go ahead and switch it to... Yeah, so go to UV editing, hit A for all, and we're going to zoom it in and try and center it a bit, so that way we can have it reach the most that we can without it reaching over into non-existent locations. So we just did that, and to kind of fix these parts here, let's go to this and select paint, and I meant to... Oh yeah, here we go. So N key to bring out this. Let's bring it back down to this, and I wanted to increase the size, which we can do through that, or we can just use the bracket keys as said before. So let's clear this up so that way it's not, you know, it doesn't look ugly. So we're going to keep that like that, set it back to view so that way you don't end up accidentally miscoloring anything. And now when you go over to texturing and painting this way, oh right, first you're going to want to make sure that your colors stay the same, but for the sake of getting this video done fast, I'm doing that so that way, yeah. And yes, it looks like shit now, but again, I will be fixing it in like Photoshop. Kind of looks like a hand a little bit. And if you want to get rid of the annotations, just go over to annotation eraser, and yeah, switch that back to there. And I believe, yeah, okay, so let's turn off everything else but the affected mesh, just to show that, yeah, you can also, if you're not careful, it'll reach around behind it. So sometimes it's best to just disable all other meshes but the one that you're coloring. And then if you want to save your texture, you're going to go over to image. See how there's a little asterisk right there? You're going to go over to save as, and then you can save it as a physical thing on your desktop. And there you go. That's how you do it.